Hello and welcome to Brimwood Farm. Today we are at the farm. We're going to be doing some conservation projects. So there's wildflower meadow, bluebell woods, owl boxes and much more coming up. So I'm finally back at my favourite place in the world, this 40 acres of Suffolk farmland. Now I've done my back in, and Sard has got really bad hay fever. So we're not doing a ton of work today. As you can see, there is some scything to do. So all of this just needs to get scythed back. That's what I've been working on the edge of the pit, and then I'm going to scythe that back so I can put the fencing up. But apart from that, we're just going to wander around. We're going to do some bird watching, we're going to check on the owl boxes, the wildflower meadow, the bluebell wood and various projects, and we're just going to take our time and enjoy this beautiful day, this beautiful land, and do some wildlife counts. So let's go. Well, my one bit of work for the day has been started, so you can see what I've cut back. However, that clump there and that clump there have caterpillars in them, which could be tortoiseshell or peacock butterfly caterpillars, so I'm not leaving them. Also annoyingly, somebody has stolen my rake, so I can't rake any of this off. It's not a terrible scenario because it can just rot down and increase the goodness on the soil. I'm not actually, so I'm just being bitten by a fly. I don't mind fertile soil here because I'm not putting wildflowers in, so it doesn't matter if it rots down and increases the soil fertility, because actually we want to put grass out here and then some ornamental flowers as well. So I will just leave that. So the next thing is to put in a fig. Now this area, when it's cleared, is going to be a nuttery full of walnut trees and almonds and that sort of thing. But I have this horrible, poor little fig that was never looked after properly, never pruned properly before I got it. And you can see here, it's a bit of a nightmare. It wouldn't ever make a good espalier tree because the crown is just a bit screwed. So I'm just going to plant it here. And sorry, I keep getting bitten by flies. I think they're horseflies trying to get me. So I'm going to plant it just over here somewhere and leave it and see what happens. And if it develops into a nice fig tree with edible figs, that's all great. And if it doesn't and it dies, well, I gave it a go. So I'm going to go get the spade and fork, and I'm also going to run away from these flies. So see you in a bit. Well, this ground is solid as a rock, and actually there's lots of rubble in there. So I'm giving up and I'm moving over here because I found this pile of wood chippings and it was fairly clear of weeds. So I thought, oh, I'll put it in here. Perfect spot actually. However, somebody has put glass in here. So actually they seem to have put glass panels down and then put the wood chip over the top, which is very frustrating. So I'm currently digging the hole and also digging bits of glass out, because you can see there's glass, there's glass. So I need to take all of this out, and I need to remember that there is glass under here, so that if I am ever gardening around here in the future with my fingers, I'm very careful. But I'm going to put the fig in here because I think it would be a good spot for it. So the fig is in. Now obviously it's the summer and it's not the best time to be planting trees, especially as we're not even living here. So this is going to have to fend for itself. It's not going to be regularly watered, and so really is fending for itself. However, I have really not looked after it very well at home, and it generally has been stuck in its pot for 2 years, hardly ever watered, and it's had to fend for itself there as well, to the point where it's lost all of its leaves because it dried out. So actually, up here it's probably got more chance than stuck in a pot back home. So I will keep an eye on this every time we come up and see how it does. I'm hoping it will grow into a nice big fig. With harvestable figs, that's the other thing. I don't even know if this is one of the ornamental varieties that fruit but they don't really ripen, or a decent fig, but I didn't want to let it go to waste. So we've popped it in and we'll just see how it does. There's this little privet that's here, and in here there is a meadow brown. They're lovely little butterflies. I think they're rather understated, but I think they're quite lovely. And they remind me of my youth because there used to be loads of them fluttering around the fields. Oh, and there's a tortoiseshell. There's lots of tortoiseshells here as well today. Lovely. Oh, well, that's a great photo. 2 butterflies in one shot. You know, I've been trying to take pictures of butterflies for hours, and then 2 come along at once. So it's worthwhile having some non-native species planted out as well. And that's kind of what I aim to do here on the farm. Lots of conservation with native species, but also a few cultivated specimens here and there. A rose scrambling up through a hedge, the magnolia, that sort of thing. Just adds to the landscape. So we're heading towards the barn, which is hopefully going to be home one day. The cows have gone, so I can show you around. So this is the barn. This is the only barn, this is the only building we have left on our farmland, because all of these buildings were sold off when my granddad died, and they were turned into beautiful holiday lets. Absolutely stunning. The guy that did it so well. They are stunning. But this, we hope, will one day become home. So the cows were in here before, and there's a lot of cow poo still in here, but you can see the size of this place. I think it's 18 metres by 16 metres. The dog. See, the perfect thing to scratch in is dry cow poo and straw, isn't it? So she's having a while of a time. But yeah, so one day, you never know, if you stick with us on this channel for, what, another 3 years, because that is our time frame, you may see this building start to become our home building. And we think it's the only place that we might get planning permission on the farm, because it's agricultural land, as you can see out there. But this has a concrete floor, so you can't grow crops in it. The farm has no building for a farmer to live in, to work, so somewhere to stay and work and shelter. So we're hoping we'll be able to get planning through that. So it's a lovely barn. You get sparrows nesting in all of these little rivets down here. So when we do pull it down, we want to pull it down in the winter, because it'd be awful to pull it down when there's nesting birds. And then, just to give you an idea, so this will be the front of the house. The door will be here, and then we want to have a wall of glass, so the vista of the house will be here. So this would be the view out from the kitchen and the dining room. So we'd look out across this field, and this will be a pasture field, we hope, with most of our livestock, and our chickens over there, and the pits over there, and the wildflower meadows over there. So very, very nice. So that just gives you an idea of our plans. Oh, and here, so this section here, we're going to, this is where Sard wants to start his pheasantry. So he wants to keep and breed and sell ornamental pheasants. So we're going to put so the hill meadow with the bees in the pond is over that hedge. So he wants to convert this into aviaries with the ornamental pheasants. And then the plan will be, the kitchen will be sort of here, and the back door will be there with the mudroom. And then we'll have the market garden down here. So it'll be right outside the back door for all the crops. So yeah, that is the grand plan. So as I say, if this channel is still going, in 3 years' time, you might actually see it happen. So this is a ragwort, and I found some teeny tiny cinnabar moth caterpillars. Aren't they cute? They become much more vibrant as they grow. They're actually bright yellow with black bands, and as they get big, they become very striking, but they're still tiny babies. They're probably only a couple of days old at the moment. So they're on this ragwort plant, in the on the driveway, so I'm glad that I didn't drive up this way. And there's quite a few ragworts, so there's plenty for them to eat. So grow well, little baby caterpillars. There's loads of caterpillars around at the moment, so I hope these guys survive. Well, I've just walked into the wildflower meadow field. That is the entrance over there, but we've got a secondary entrance here, so I've come through there. So this is all the bit that I haven't actually scythed yet. So a vast amount. So it's basically left to just go wild until we gradually scythe it across and across and across and expand the wildflower meadow. So you've mostly got ducks in here. There's some thistles going to seed. There's more thistles there. I think actually they may be teasels. There's obviously rabbits because there's rabbit poo. But there are some nice little flowers in here as well. So as much as this isn't one of the created wildflower meadow patches, there's a lot of wild plants in it, which is also good for wildlife. Now I can see over here there's a very clear line where the oxeye daisies have started. So let's just walk over that way so we can see how the field has come up this year. Remember, I didn't have a chance to scythe it all because obviously it's a lot of work. But considering I haven't scythed it all, it's looking quite nice. Oh look, I think that was a female pigeon, a female pheasant. So I've scythed this end, so half the field, half has been scythed and half hasn't been. So we'll see the difference. I love a good oxeye daisy. Oh, they look pretty. Oh, it looks lovely. And this section is where I have scythed, but where we didn't actually sow wildflowers. So they haven't yet spread. So you can see that I've scythed this bit. And there's a few oxeye daisies coming through. And I need to look these up because I'm not entirely sure what these are. But they've come up, which is nice. But this is the bit that I have that we officially sowed. And once again, it's come up lovely. Look at that. Beautiful. And actually, there's more in it this year than last year. Last year it was predominantly oxeye daisies, these lovely daisies. But then we've got some ragged robin there. That's beautiful. And actually, if you look amongst the stems, you can see some little spots of pink here and there. The plantain, these, you know, they're such a subtle plant, but actually that is really pretty. It's lovely. So the plantains are coming up well. We've got more of this stuff. What else can we find? I'm not very good with wildflowers, so I really need to look up the names. Oh, there's a lovely little thistle here, the bumble. You enjoying my wildflower meadow? I hope so. Get all that nectar and spread it around. There's some lovely buttercups here. The sun bugs have come out to get them. Pollen beetles. Can we spot any poppies? The poppies might have gone over. Oh look, I think this is, oh I can't remember what it's called. Trefoil or something, bird's foot trefoil. I'll put all these names on the screen when I work out what they are. There's some, well, this is very much like the Achillea you grow in your gardens. Lovely plant, lovely foliage. It's obviously not completely out yet, but it's getting there. There's some nice clover down here. I'm really happy with this. This is great. So hopefully one day we want to spread this so it's from the very edge all the way across, and then the magnolia tree will be over there. And then we'll have paths weaved into it. But on the whole, very, very happy. There's a bit of forget-me-not down here. So, wonderful. I'm going to keep looking and we'll go and visit some of the other projects. I'm sure it's a bit too hot for you. Is it? You shouldn't be out and about. You're going to dry up, mate. So I'm just walking down to the bluebell wood, and who should I find on the driveway? This lovely little frog. I'm going to try and get him to go into there because it's really dry and I don't want him drying out. So if I go close, go on, mate. Yeah, go on. Go in this way, because also I don't want you to get, there he's gone. I don't want him to get squished by anybody driving around. Right, let's go and look at the state of the bluebell grove. Even though the bluebell flowers will have gone over, but I just want to see what's happened. Well, this is the bluebell grove, and we have missed the bluebells, sadly. We didn't manage to get up here and see them this year. However, there are remnants. So the floor is littered with the old leaves and then the seed pods. So this is really good because it shows that they have flowered and they're setting seeds, and they will seed prolifically. So as long as these keep seeding every single year, soon this will be awash with bluebells and not baby sycamores. I mean, most of these sycamores don't make it because otherwise this would be a sycamore forest. There are quite a lot of sycamores up there, so we are going to have to cut some out. You can see how much the bracken has grown up, and there are deer in here because I actually followed a deer-made path to get in here because it's grown up so high. It's amazing how from nothing just so much growth can happen. Like this little mound up here, you can climb up. I have no idea what or who is buried there. It's a mystery, and I'm not about to dig it up and discover, because God knows what might be in there. It might just be a cross, but somebody might have buried their cat or dog, I guess, in there. I hope it's nothing else. So the pit is absolutely full of gorse, luminous gorse. It's nice and cool in here, but as you can see, there'll be a hell of a lot of work to do when we actually live here to make this into a sort of a manageable landscape. So I guess the final thing to do is just to go up to the pond, and I can show you the new pond where we're going to start work. Right, well, we're going over to the second pond, but I just wanted to show you this because how pretty are those buttercups? They're so lovely amongst the long meadow grass and the buttercups. They look very, very pretty. Now, the second pond is there, and we've decided that we're going to revitalise this pond first, because if you watched the last vlog, you would have known that it's right next, the other pond is right next to the beehives. And those bees have become ultra aggressive, and it's not fun trying to work when you're getting stung. And I got stung 3 times last time and attacked, and it just really put me off. So we've decided that yes, we'll have a word with the beekeeper and we'll see what he can do about it, but why not work on the other pond first? The reason I like the hill meadow pond is the entire pond is sat within our boundary, so you can walk the entire way around. This is actually on the, oh wow, look, this is an orchid, people. Oh my gosh. And the dog better not wreck it. That is amazing. And here is another one. Well, 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 that is beautiful. Sorry, I just got completely sidetracked from the pond, but I have never seen this orchid here before. Right, well, that is a big win for today. I will take some pictures in a minute. So yes, so this pond is actually bordering our neighbour. So our neighbour's field is here, and this, but it's quite a big pond. So this is the next pond that we're going to work on. It's quite large. There used to be Canada geese on this when I was young. A pair of Canada geese used to come every year. Now, oh, I've just seen another one. There's loads of those orchids. There's one down there. And there's one here. Oh my gosh. So, back to the pond. The pond is in here. So this is an even bigger job. In there, you can just see water down there. So this is going to be the new job. We obviously are not going to cut it back now because it's the middle of bird nesting season. And so it's really good, practice not to cut back at this time of year, because even if there aren't nests in here, there could be baby birds. Also, this is a blimmin' brilliant blackberry thicket with the best tasting blackberries. So I'm going to let that fruit first and collect all the goodies, and then we will cut it back in the autumn and we'll rediscover this whole pond. And we'll do this pond first. The other pond is in the field behind this big tree. It's right up there. So we're going to do that another time. And this buttercup meadow is looking fantastic as well. Just give you a little scroll round. So that's the pond project, and I'm just flabbergasted at those orchids. I'm so excited. Let me just go back. Oh, I just saw a little skipper as well. So that's it for another farm vlog. I hope you've enjoyed the updates on all of the conservation projects that we're doing and the wildlife that I found. I have checked the owl boxes. There is no signs of life, but then obviously it's the middle of the day and it's hot, so I wouldn't expect owls to be flitting in and out. Now, we're not able to look inside because checking and disturbing barn owl nesting sites in the UK is actually illegal unless you have a licence, and I don't have a licence yet, so I'm going to leave them well alone and we will monitor them over the coming weeks and months and just see whether there are any chicks fledged from them, and I'll keep you updated. Also, at the end of this video you'll see a link with our Brimwood Farm logo on it, and that links to Patreon, and I've started a Patreon just for the work at the farm, so any money that we earn is going to go in towards doing work here, so putting up fences, maybe hiring tractors and stuff just to go across the fields and mow them down. So it's all going to be ploughed into the conservation projects here. So if you're interested, you just click the link, it will take you to the Patreon page, and you can take a look at why we're doing it and the perks you might get, and also just there's some interesting stuff about previous projects we've done, such as funding the wildflower meadow and the owl boxes. But there's absolutely no onus on you to follow that link at all. If you don't want to, because I'm still going to be producing all this content for this channel. So have a wonderful day. We've had a brilliant day here. I'm quite tired. I need to lose a few pounds, so all that scything has been good, but tiring. So I will see you again for the regular schedule very soon. Bye.